Hi, this is Jim, and I'm the New Hampshire Rock Guide, and we're out on another one of my mining adventures. Wow, look at this spar here. It's just falling out of the mine walls, and there's so much more to see. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Peel all 6 sides of the tourmaline crystal. What would be west into the Connecticut River Valley and the mountains of Vermont. World-class beryl crystals, both aquamarine and golden. If you look hard enough, you'll find something it's facing. Yeah. Get ready for a fantastic journey of this incredible mine. Yeah, this is the creme de la creme of all mines in our area, and I'll tell you why. It's Jim Pecora of the Mica Mine Schoolhouse, and we're here on another one of our mining and mineral adventures brought to your home by YouTube and our friends at Google. Thank you very much. I want to give a shout out to our videographer Jackson Stone, who I think is going to be doing some blogging from this most incredible site behind me. This here is what the original mine road looked like the entire way we came up, which was up, 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 right? 40 degrees or more at times, but you see the feldspars, the mica, and if you see a little bit to our right where the modern cell tower is, they had to bring in fill. So we were walking across local rock, but as road fill, which would come out of the rivers and gravel pits. But this, when we were kids, again, it would be gleaming white, tons of mica, sometimes spots where there was tons of rose quartz. Hey, we're here at the edge of the quarry water at the Colony Mine in Alstead, New Hampshire. This was a World War II or pre-World War II feldspar mine. Feldspar, mica, beryllium, all were key minerals during the war efforts and still are. But anyway, this was discovered by the hurricane of '38. There were older mines here already. Uhas and Ackworth, which is in that direction. Right over here we had the Douglas mine, the Allen mine. They were around for a long time. The hurricane of '38 cleared off this part of the top of Cobb Hill, and they saw this incredibly beautiful, pure white feldspar deposit, and they mined it like a banshee. 60 to 80 workers worked here, professional blacksmith shop, professional foremen, dynamite men, the derrick system that would hoist things from the quarry floor up for either keeping or discarding. If they kept it, they would pulverize it at that feldspar mill in Alstead. Railroad tracks, bringing the spar out of these tunnels, and you might be able to see one just off to my side there. That, if the water level is lower, you'd see how cavernous that is. We have a cavernous entry at this point, which goes further down into the mountain underneath. Right behind me, I'd like to explain, this was glistening white when we used to visit it in the 60s after its mining ceased in the mid-60s. No leaves, no biological. The color of the water was turquoise, beautiful turquoise. And you'd see this crystal white bottom. So for about 15 feet from me, or 18 feet, this is an area where the road would have continued down when this was empty of water. This part here is just a drop off. So about 12 feet from me is the edge of the ledge here. There's a rock I see across the way. You could easily dive right in. Now, people do jump off from the top. I want to tell you a couple of stories. This was from my personal experience. If you can look clear across the quarry water, you'll notice that the ledge is nowhere near as steep as the left and right sides. So we're at that end of the mine. There was a mine shaft that went down that distance, 20, 30 feet maybe, I just guessing. So say, call it 20 feet. What these mine shafts, they were air shafts when the mine was subterranean. At the big mine, there were 125 feet and more in depth, these air shafts. Here, there were 60, 70 foot air shafts on this end of the mine, but we're at that end, and we would go down into this one because it was like entering an enchanted realm of anything I've ever seen in my life. You came down what was called a branch ladder. You got to understand what a branch ladder is. It's 2 trees with a bunch of branches lashed in between. When one branch broke, the miner would just lash another branch on. We didn't know that. So anyway, we descend 1 or 2 of these ladders, because the branch ladders were typically no more than maybe 12 to 15, 18 feet in length. Unless there was a really big one, that wouldn't be in an air shaft. A big branch ladder would be used in the quarry like this. When you came down to the bottom, the sunlight like we're seeing today would illuminate this turquoise water, and there was a tunnel beneath us that we didn't know how far it went, and there was an emerald pool just out of Disney, but better than Disney because it was for real. So I'm the last one to use the branch ladder. I'm a little chubby now. I was definitely chubby when I was a teenager. So I grow into my chubbiness probably 14, 15, and we've been going down these air shafts up here for years. One of my friends went down that 125-foot air shaft. I didn't do that either. But here, we went down, 4, 5, 6 of us would come up here at a time. Everybody exits, and here I come up, and the first branch breaks. I never knew I had such strength in my arms that I'm holding on to those 2 tree limbs. Get to the next one, and it breaks. 10,000 thoughts in a nanosecond. I'm imagining myself falling down, hitting my head, dying at the bottom of the pit, being left there forever, my bones rotting, you name it. I pulled with my arms and scurried my butt up, and as far as we know, I was the last one there. What has happened in modern times, the police and fire department and EMTs have come out and filled these dangerous air shafts with fill, so they're no longer here as a hazard, but they were wicked cool exploring when I was young. Hasn't this been an incredible day, Lori?
It's been wonderful.
I just really appreciate your company and your interest in the Mica Mine Schoolhouse and rocks, and you've been with me since day one, so much appreciated.
Yeah. Well, Hill Theater we met.
That's right.
Yeah.
You, Dennis, I should give a shout out to Dennis. I haven't done that on these videos, but he's our landlord, he's my partner in the museum, he's donated the family's collection of minerals to the museum, and just there to help us with anything that we need with our humble beginnings, and I appreciate all your help. Lori and your granddaughter Erica helped do a lot of the initial organization there, so that was awesome.
I used to ride my horse to this mine.
Oh, cool.
I'd love to do it again.
Maybe we could bring back horseback riding to mines. What a great idea.
And mules and donkeys and Firestone.
They could carry the water and the lunch.
They would love it.
That's cool. Go ahead.
They love to explore, the horses.
The horses? Oh, I would imagine. I'd love to be on horseback. Well, welcome. Next time we're here, we might be on horseback. Yeah. This is like being on top of the world up here. Except for the cell tower. That's kind of a modern addition, isn't it? Well, it doesn't get any more dangerous than this. Don't trip over the edge. You might hit the water and you might not. That side you'll hit the water. That's where they jump off of. Oh, I got to tell a story. My father becomes scoutmaster in I had to be in high school, so before 78. So the kid I'm talking about is maybe a little older than me. Say he's 14 or 15. But anyway, we brought the whole scout troop up from Manhasset, Long Island to camp up here in Mill Hollow, and we did a tour of the mine. So all of us are staying together as my father, the scoutmaster, had instructed us. So the whole troop is down where we just were at the water's edge. All of a sudden we hear this yell, this other horrific sound of a cry and a splash, and one of our troop members, a little bit adventuresome soul, Steve Davison, jumped off from one of those cliffs, gave my father for sure a heart attack, silent heart attack, whatever you want to call it, because I would have had one too. Not knowing what's in the bottom of this, right? Steve knew nothing. We never talked about it. When they ended the mining, they threw the derrick, they threw the machinery, they threw the metal, they threw the cables, everything went in the hole. You jump in there, you could land on some really, really nasty stuff, and you may be lost forever. We have lost several people here. So just be really mindful when you're at such a place. Respect it, and it will respect you. Hey, it's been an incredible weekend of filming on location in Alstead, Ackworth, Gilsum. We traveled a lot of ground the last 3 days. This is the last shot or little vignette I want to do, which is an update to Beryl Mountain, because just a weekend ago, the town of Ackworth, New Hampshire had its 250th celebration called a sesquicentennial. And I purchased this book. 35 cents would have been the subscription price. I paid $10 for it. April 1965, and it has a 2-page article about the quartz mining in Beryl Mountain. And I just want to give you a couple of highlights. But basically, the author did a great job, gave us a lot of historical facts, and what we've learned about the ownership of Beryl Mountain. It's owned by the daughter of this gentleman quoted here, whose name was Carl Thomas. He was the field manager and co-owner of Quartz Incorporated of Keene, New Hampshire. It's his piece of equipment that's on the top of Beryl Mountain. That's in one of our other videos. So the ATD-7 that was welded into the boom, this was Carl Thomas's 7th piece of equipment. And it is a construction company that does dynamiting and things like that, based in I think it was Swansea? No, not Swansea. Just south of Keene, New Hampshire. So still, the business is still there to this day, but not Quartz Incorporated. But this gives us another published place where the author says, for over 75 years, Beryl Mountain reputed to be the greatest single concentration of beryl in the world. We've only seen that one other place under the Harvard-Dartmouth publication. The picture that was published without any words. So anyway, it talks about the beautiful white quartz was selected to face the brand new John F. Kennedy building, 23 stories, in the Boston's Government Center. So in 8 months, they mined enough quartz from Beryl Mountain, which went and was crushed on site, crushed further in Newport, shipped to Boston, where it was bonded to Portland cement. So this entire building is covered, 22 stories, so a couple other outbuildings, all with quartz from Beryl Mountain in just 8 months. And in that 8-month period, right in here, it tells us they uncovered another 20 tons of beryl. This is unbelievable. What a fact to find. It's such a gem and a treasure. So Beryl Mountain started out fueling the government's war machine and the nuclear bombs in the 1940s with 26 tons that was on the discard piles. And here the mountain, 3 or 4 decades beyond that, is giving up another 20 tons.